And welcome everybody. This is our weekly Transformation Denmark meeting. And I know that a few people could not be with us today, so I set this to record so that you can listen to this on your own. We've got some quick updates I want to give you. We may have a shorter meeting today. I know Hannah has to leave at the bottom of the hour, and some others may join, but you'll have to go back and listen to the recording of this to see what you missed in the beginning. First thing I want to share with you is, let me pull this up. Bear with me a second here. I'm going to screen share. Let's see here. There we go. I want to open that. And then I'm going to screen share here.
I hope you guys like what he's about to share with you.
We hope to.
Okay. And I'm not gonna take the time to go through this. I am going to get a copy to each of you. I want your feedback on this, of course, before we send this. But this is the first draft of the letter to the Queen.
It's difficult to scroll down.
And so are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so is the print big enough? Can you read it?
Yeah, we can read it.
Okay, so great. And in fact, I may even be able to go in a little bit more here.
You're fine. It looks good, Randy.
It's good. All right.
Yeah,
so I'll just share the first sentence and then kind of highlight the details of it. I wish to write to you about the exciting country transformation initiative occurring in many Latin American nations and how this program could greatly benefit the people of Denmark. And I'm hoping that that will be enough curiosity to draw the reader in. I am making an assumption that the Queen will not be the first person to read this. I think that's almost a guarantee. It would be a miracle if it was otherwise. And so I wanted the reader to immediately understand that this was something of great magnitude. And I'm certainly open to suggestions, but I think that first sentence is absolutely pivotal to drawing the reader in. And then we're going to talk about what's been going on in Guatemala, in Paraguay, and what happened and transpired during the two trainings there. So really that first paragraph is about working with 3 different countries, then talks about what happened in Guatemala. Second paragraph goes in talking about even greater results in Paraguay. And the fact that as the writer of this letter, I was a witness to both of those country transformation initiatives. And then immediately draw that back to the Danish people and how this could impact them. And then I found the Queen's New Year's Eve address to the nation, which I'm understanding is something Fleming, you and I have talked about this, but I understand that's something she does every year as a tradition. And I'm going to include with this letter, I have another document here. I'm going to see if, let me look at my screen share here. How do I change new share? Okay. So I took the Queen's New Year's Eve address, and this on the left side is her speech word for word translated into English. And that was provided to us by the Queen's website. On the right, I had Dawn Yoder with Global Priority go through and match what the Queen was saying to one of our values. And so, as you'll see, she, in the first paragraph, she's referencing the value of facts and common sense, and then courage and resilience, generosity, responsibility, dependability, ownership, preparation, and hope, boundaries, understanding people, awareness, respect, and so on. And so we just continued through the entire transcript of the speech, matching what the Queen said with our values programs. And I intend to include this with the letter with an explanation of what this is. Just a brief note attached to it that says what I just said to you, only says it very short and succinctly. But I was pretty excited about seeing how this all came together. It's 4 pages long, but it matches directly to the values that we have. And so let me go back to the letter here. Let's see. Come on. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So in the letter, then, I reference, based on your New Year's Eve address to the nation, talk about some of the challenges that she outlined in her letter, and how values are really a solution to those challenges. And then explain that John Maxwell will be in country on middle part of February, and specifically requests a meeting with the Queen to meet with Dr. Maxwell. And I wanted you guys to see this. Request a meeting with you, Dr. Maxwell, and select members of our team, because I want some of you guys to be in on that meeting with us. I think it, first of all, the Queen needs to see that Danish people are involved in this. That this isn't an outside coming in type of a deal. That this is, we may have a heart and passion, and we may be from the United States, but I think it's important that you guys are a part of this meeting. And so we'll have to figure out who. I'm sure there's going to be a limited number, and so we're going to have to figure out how that selection process will take place. I haven't even put any thought to that yet, but we will do everything we can to make it fair and equitable to everyone. I can tell you this will not be the last time that we have a meeting with the Queen, and so we'll always try to include as many people as we can. But at the same time, we don't want to bring an army in there, overwhelm it, and then the meeting's not about John Maxwell and Transformation Nations. But I did want you to see that. And then I just closed out by coming back to the address, the New Year's Eve address, and just said, I believe that the Country Transformation Initiative is one of those fresh ideas that she referenced in her address. And it would be an honor to share the spirit of this entrepreneurial movement with you. So it's in direct alignment with her address to the nation on New Year's Eve. And I at least thought that would show them several things, that we're trying to understand where their thinking is. We're in alignment with the values of the Queen, and so forth. So once I get a response back from our editor, then I will send you guys a copy of this and allow you to provide your feedback as well before we come up with a final draft of what this looks like. But I would welcome any initial comments that you have at this point. So let me start, ladies first. Hannah, any thoughts on this?
Well, I don't know how it is in English, but I just noted that several places it says you. And I don't know, in Danish it wouldn't work when you address the Majesty that way. It
Okay.
would be, I wish to write to Your Highness or something like that. I don't know how it works in English. That's just the...
Nope, I think that is a great catch. You'll notice that I tried to start with that, the salutation. So I think that is a fabulous catch. You are absolutely correct. It is.
But you probably need to Google it, because Highness might just refer to a prince or princess. So, yeah.
But the research that I did, Your Highness would refer to one of the royal family, and Your Majesty would refer to the Queen. So I think that's a real good catch.
Okay. And then otherwise, I don't know, I'm not accustomed to making these kinds of address. I don't know if it would be appropriate to put anything about the finance into it, or that should be a second or a third thing. Did
you say the finances of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would much rather it be about the concept. I want to communicate one thing, and that is John Maxwell's coming, and we would like a meeting. And then during that, we could have the conversation about how we intend to pay for this and who would be involved. But I think then they could have that conversation at a higher level with John there. I am anticipating that Mike Poulin and even possibly Jerry Anderson from Global Priority would possibly join us in this meeting. And these guys have been talking to country leaders for 7 years now. And so they're going to know how to introduce the cost of this. Also, at that point, John can speak for his leadership foundation where we cannot. And so I did intentionally leave that out, but I think that's a really good catch.
Well, yeah, but otherwise I think it's really good. And I haven't, read the letter, but I really like the idea of taking her New Year speech and then match it up to the values and let her see that we are actually interested in bringing something into her country that she's also concerned about.
That we're in alignment with what she wants for the country.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, great. Fleming?
The idea how to address the Queen, that's wonderful, because she cannot write you.
That's a really good catch, yeah.
So the other part is that the economy, I don't think, for now, we just introduced the idea. The finances she's not thinking about that. She's focusing on the New Year's speech, which you translated into values. What you could do if you wanted to bring further is that the global priority originally was established as a marriage counseling. Then you have the background for the global priority in place.
The global priority was originally established as a what?
It was originally established as marriage counseling.
No, that's not. I'm not aware that that's the fact.
No, I thought you said so because the value. How did global priority start then?
Global priority started by two businessmen that wanted to bring values to business leaders, CEOs, and so it really had more to do with businesses. Debbie and our background was in marriage ministry. And
okay, I just thought you were talking about that when you had some books and we were in something some time ago.
Okay. No, that's probably where that came from. Global priority was initially geared toward business leaders, and because of the tremendous success, it began to spill into the other 6 pillars of society, and really took off when they started taking it into Latin America.
Okay, but the background for the global priority, very short to put into that, because then you have actually said it's nothing about Christianity.
Yeah, the only thing that I certainly think that there's an opportunity for us to communicate something, but right now I wanted it to be about country transformation and Dr. Maxwell. I think if we try to communicate too many concepts, the letter's going to get too long. I think we're okay at about 1.5 pages.
Yeah.
If we start adding another paragraph, or if we did anything to move on to a 3rd page, I think we've taken us out of the realm of where we need to be. Now, if that said, if we think it's important enough that GPS is mentioned in here, we could look at trimming a paragraph or taking a paragraph out, but it does try to carefully lead the reader to the conclusion. It starts with the history of what's gone on in Latin America, tells about how that grew to other countries, and then why we think that would be good for Denmark, and then moves into the fact that Dr. Maxwell is going to be in the country, and we would like to have a meeting with you.
But yeah, I don't know. The fact is that what happens when you Google Dr. Maxwell?
I'm wondering if maybe, Fleming, what you're saying is a really good point. I'm wondering if the let me just hold on here. I'm wondering if this sheet, the explanation sheet that I put on here, shouldn't have maybe a paragraph about global priority. Would that make sense?
That could be great, because if I don't know what happens if I type John Maxwell in the Google.
I
Let
think.
me actually do that, Randy, and I'll see what happens.
Okay. So I think that might be a way for us to accomplish what you're saying. I think there's a valid point there. I'm just hesitant to put it into the letter.
Yes, of course, but she will Google John Maxwell.
Yeah.
It says top Johnson.
It says pastor.
Nope. It talks about leadership.
It only talks about leadership all the way. There's no.
No. It actually says John Calvin Maxwell is an American author, speaker, and pastor who's written many books, primarily focusing on leadership.
Yeah, but
So it does actually say that he's a pastor.
Yeah, that's
Well,
okay, because he's a lot of other things too.
Yeah, that comes out of his Wikipedia page. I'm going to see what results I get. So I get the John Maxwell team is the first thing that pops up. And I think that's fine, first thing. Then the next thing that pops up is johnmaxwell.com, which is the John Maxwell Company, which I think that's fine.
Yeah.
And then the Wikipedia pops up. And then John Maxwell's Facebook page, John Maxwell's LinkedIn, and then John Maxwell in Success Magazine, and then the John Maxwell team again, and then Amazon Books by John Maxwell. And so I think we're safe with that.
Yeah, I think so too. But you, yeah, if you want to, you can put something in the, because actually it's global priority who is behind. But
Yes.
I don't know if that's important.
No, I think that's good. And I think what we can do is because I'm going to have to put, some kind of explanation with this sheet. I don't want to just drop this in there. So I'll have a cover page to this. And I think that's where we talk about global priority and the partnership with Dr. Maxwell and how, we're working in concert with these two organizations. I think that's a really smart catch.
Good.
Okay.
You just need to check the dates, because the 11th is okay if John can come. We have not cleared that with Mark Cole. And the other part is that we were talking the 13th. He need to fly to Sweden to be there at 1 o'clock. So it could be the 14th we were talking about. So we need to clear the dates with Mark Cole.
Okay.
Finally.
That was what I had in my notes, was the 11th, 12th, or 13th.
Yeah, but if John needs to be in Stockholm latest 1 o'clock, because he needs to speak 1 o'clock, and he needs to fly there, and he needs transportation from the airport. So he needs to go latest 10 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. All right. So maybe the 13th isn't a good option.
I think we were talking about 14th.
Okay. Yeah, in my notes, I had Mark saying that we could do a meeting early on the 13th before he went
But
to
then it has to
Stockholm.
be 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Because he
Okay.
needs to go from the Queen, and the Queen meeting is 1 hour least. And then you need to go from the Queen, check in the airport. So it's impossible the 13th.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that makes sense. I'll make that change. I mean, Mark's going to see this letter before we send it. I imagine that he'll put that in front of John as well. So, but let's go ahead and write it that way. I would agree with you that we'll say that he would be available on Sunday. He would be available on Monday morning, and he would be available on Thursday anytime.
Yeah, Wednesday, because it's Monday, it's Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You're right. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, on the 14th. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a great catch.
And
All right.
then if you can send the letter, because then we can read it and go deep down into it.
Now,
Before it's going to be edited, you can
Yeah.
send it to us and we can go through it, and things could be maybe changed, and then somebody could edit it.
Yeah.
So you send it to me and Hannah, or because
Yeah, once I get it back, you weren't on yet when I said this, but once we get it back from my editor here, I've got actually two English editors, one who works with us all the time, the other one who's a retired English professor, and she's the really tough one,
yeah,
but it'll be perfect English, and so then once we have that, I'm going to send it to you guys to read through and see if there's anything that you think culturally would need to change. And Hannah and Fleming, you know, two good catches on how I was very deliberate about addressing the salutation properly, but I missed it in the body of the letter. So that was a good catch. But you guys are going to see it. Everybody's going to see this before it goes. And then I think the way we'll send it is probably in a priority overnight via, you know, DHL or FedEx or whatever. What's the most common overnight carrier in your country?
UPS or
Well, all you mentioned are pretty common. DHL and
yeah,
Yes.
DHL or GLS. We
And
use
so you don't think politically there's one that's better than the other?
FedEx would be the best one.
Okay.
UPS has a bad reputation, but that's all.
Okay. Well, then let's steer clear of that. Let's.
Don't use the common mail system. It takes 14 days.
Yeah. No, we're gonna express it. We're gonna priority it. There's just something about getting a priority envelope that says "Open Me."
Yeah.
And so I imagine there's a whole security protocol that everything probably gets X-rayed and sniffed and who knows everything else that has to happen before somebody actually opens that envelope. And that process could take a day or two. So we're absolutely going to overnight it and make it a priority piece. Is there anyone else that you think of that we should have read this other than the John Maxwell Company, you guys, anybody else you think we should run this past? Global priority, they'll see it too. That pretty much covers it, I think, don't you?
We think so. I think so too.
Okay.
Maybe one, I don't know. And it's not normal for us to write to the Queen.
It's not normal for me to write to a queen either. So,
So maybe we should find in our network somebody who usually writes to the Queen. Maybe I can find one. I don't know. I'll try.
okay. Well, I actually read a number of letters online that had been written. Admittedly, it was difficult to find a letter that was written to the Queen of Denmark, but I found many that were written to the Queen of England. And so I read through a number of those, and that's where I got a lot of my ideas from in terms of format and structure. I even found a website that told me where to place your address and where to, you know, space and how to address the Queen. And so I did pretty good on all of that, except in the body of the letter. So, hey, I've never done this before.
No, we learn every day.
But it's not going to be the last time I write the Queen, that's for sure.
Hopefully not.
But really, I'm hoping it's one of the last times because I'm looking forward to being able to just pick up the phone and call her her administrative assistant and ask if the Queen is available.
Of course.
I mean, you don't ask, you don't get, right?
No.
Okay, Hannah, you've got about 4 minutes. Is there anything you want to add to this conversation?
No, I think
Okay.
that's where we are, right?
Hey guys, we are entering into an exciting time. I know that it's been a long time coming, but every conversation that we've had has helped Debbie and I to better understand your country, your culture, the people, and things are coming together. We've got Mark Cole involved, which means we've got John involved. global priority. You know, this whole thing. I found the transcript of the speech from the Queen, and I sent it to Dawn, and I said, "Look, she runs 2 companies. I said, I know you're busy, but there's nobody who knows the values like you do, because she's written most of them." And I just said, could you provide a match, the values to what the Queen was saying? And in less than 24 hours, she had delivered it back. That's
Wow.
how excited they are about what we're doing. And
Mm.
I just thanked her so much and said how much that meant to us and on behalf of the whole team. So we're really getting people's attention here, and things are starting to come together. I hope you can tell I'm getting really excited because
I can see that.
we're making things happen here.
You're very shiny today.
Ah,
And Debbie too.
Can I just share a little bit before Hannah gets off? I just want to let you guys know that there are scary times and there are dark times for Randy and I with this project, and where people tell us, we're totally crazy, and, to think we could start to write a letter. And I can't tell you guys both enough how much we're appreciating everything, your mindset, the time that you're taking, the ideas, all the constructive things that you guys are saying. And God is blessing us. God is well aware of what we're doing. And He's giving Randy and I more belief every week. So whenever we get nervous to put more time into this and take it away from business that builds our finances, He'll just bless us somewhere. And so what I can tell you is I'm getting more excited. I listened to the presentation twice, once on Saturday and once this morning, and I get excited. And this was my original vision and whatever. And so I'm getting excited just by watching the presentation and listening to what is going to happen and listening to the 6 million people that are going to be changed. And so I can't say enough about what's going to happen in the fourth quarter of 2017 and all of 2018 and forever on from there. So I'm proud of what you guys have done. I'm proud of what Randy's done in the last couple months. And I'm excited to see what happens with this package. And it'll be definitely prayed over and has been prayed over. So I just want to say thanks for all that you guys are doing.
well, likewise. Okay, any last thoughts, Fleming?
No, I don't have any last thoughts. Of course, it's going to happen. There's no doubt about it.
We like that.
We should share your conversation with Hillsong.
Yeah, we could do that. Actually, I left the church. I'm never talking to the pastor, but so I was going on the pavement, and then he come running after me and said, about John Maxwell. We have talked about it, and it could be a great idea if he was coming the 11th, 18, 6 p.m. in the evening. Good, wonderful. And if he needs to be paid for something, we can talk about that. I don't think he needs to be paid. No.
I am assuming that when John speaks in a church, he receives an honorarium. So I think that would be up to them.
But what he was talking about paying for something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I said I'll talk to them in the U.S. And what about in Transformation Denmark? When you are connected to the 40 pastors, and then we started talking, and then he forgot himself because he was walking with the pastor from the lead pastor from Norway, Hillsong Church, and then we started talking, and I need to go. Yes, okay, so sorry for disturbing you. But you are in us with that one too. Yes, but it's a large task. No, it's not. I said, hopefully the Queen and God is with us, so it's just going to happen.
Yeah, excellent.
So he's, I think, in also with the transformation and the connections to the pastors and everything. The one thing that is irritating me is that Casper is lazy. What's it called? Lazy, yeah.
Well, Fleming, you're just going to have to do it for him.
Yeah, but I'm not even started, and yet it seems that everything is just running. So that's why I know it'll happen.
Hannah's got to go.
Hannah, see you later,
thank you very
Hannah.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. So I think we'll wrap up there. I'm looking forward to, hold on just one.